I'm going to Platinum Rise of the Tomb Raider and get all the DLC trophies. That's 125 trophies, the most I've ever gone for. This is going to take a while. Let's do this. To start, I have to beat the story on Survivor difficulty. This was easier than I thought it would be, so I had little issue getting through the story and getting trophies. Eventually, I came across my first challenge tomb. These are optional locations where you have to solve a puzzle to get to the end for a reward. Completing all 9 of them gets you a trophy, and is also required for getting a 100% game completion trophy. In addition to the challenge tombs, you have to raid every crypt, finish every challenge and side mission, find every collectible, and beat the main story. To say this more eloquently, it's a grind. But for now, I got the trophy for completing my first challenge tomb. Ancient abilities. Challenging. First tomb. From there, I kept playing through the story, unlocking trophies while also focusing on getting the 100% until I finally raided every crypt. The chosen few. And we got an ancient quiver. Completed every challenge tomb. Oh, actual instincts. And there we go, Tomb Raider. And complete every side mission.
I'm sure I can find some useful.
Oh, what's this? Woman of the People. So, the plan was to beat the story as the last requirement for the 100% trophy, but I ran into a problem. I thought I had found every collectible and finished every challenge so far, but when I looked at the map, it only said 94% complete. So I did a little more investigating and found an area I didn't check before. It's the very first area of the game, and I missed some collectibles and a challenge. You see, the problem is you can't travel back to this area once you've gone past it during the story, so I wasn't sure if I had to create a new save to get them again. Fortunately, I found out once you beat the story, you can travel back there. So I made my way to the end of the game and finished the story. I had a great time playing through it, and with the game beat, I can now go back to the first area to complete the last challenge and get the final collectibles. Alright, the last challenge is complete. Compulsive. Let's get the last document. This should get out the 100% trophy. There we go, no stone unturned. Man, that took a while. At this point, I wanted to do all the DLC. You have Endurance, Bag of Yaga, Cold Darkness, Croft Manor, and Endurance Co-op. I started with Endurance. This is a survival mode where you can gather food, make fires to stay warm, kill enemies, explore ruins, and find artifacts. The more days you spend here, the more challenging it gets. Now, to get the trophies in this mode, you have to set the challenges to have the same name. I didn't know this at first, so I wasted time wondering why the trophy wasn't popping. It was like waiting for a bus at a closed bus stop. This game also has cards you can use to give yourself an advantage, but I'll get to that in a bit. First, I got one of the easiest trophies out of the way for escaping the forest on day 1 without recovering any artifacts. You're lucky, I'm about to starve to death. There we are, nope. I enjoyed that movie, but now let's talk more about the cards. You get these from the shop, which come in packs you can buy or get as gifts. You can buy them with credits you earn in the game, or if you've got it like that, you can buy them with real money. I don't, so I just stuck with the credits. There's also a trophy for getting 300 cards, but I'll focus on getting that later. The cards I usually use in this were Well Read, a Master Outfit card, Bloodlust, Hot Blooded, and Toxicity, with Toxicity being my favorite. Why? Because it kills most of the enemies and animals in one hit. It even kills you pretty quickly. What? That killed me. Yeah, poison gas kills you. Shocker. Alright, enough about my poison experience. Now it was time to go for all the other trophies. They're not difficult to get, but extremely tedious because you can only set 5 challenges per run. Also, surviving one day takes about 10 minutes, so keep that in mind. So I started a new game and got the trophy Happy Camper for surviving 5 days. Then I got Who Needs a Map for locating 5 crypts. I also fully upgraded a weapon for the non-DLC trophy, Weaponsmith. Then while waiting till I survived at least 7 days, I started to feel the grind because once I got to this stage, there wasn't much else for me to do. And this was a problem. You see, I have an issue with sitting still, and that caused me to do something that added more hours to getting these trophies. Killed myself. I can't believe that. So I started another game, and the next trophy I wanted required me to open 5 codexes or sarcophagi without getting caught in a trap. This one can be tricky, but what made it easier was using the Well Read card. This grants all codex skills, which lets you see all traps in red. Just make sure you remember to jump, and also jump in the right direction. Once I learned those 2 lessons, I skillfully avoided them to get the trophy. There it is, Skillful Raider, finally. After that, I got Master Archaeologist for stealing at least 10 artifacts. Then I survived 7 days to get Nature Retreat and 10 days for Great Outdoors. And the last 2 endurance trophies I got were Vacation for escaping the forest after surviving for 7 days, and Great Haul for escaping the forest after surviving 10 days with at least 10 stolen relics. Now that endurance is done, I decided to do endurance co-op next because I was already familiar with the mode. However, I ran into a stumbling block. The servers were as active as my social life. Although I did find one person, but the connection was poor, so it disconnected pretty quickly. This is giving me flashbacks. Anyway, I couldn't find anyone else after that, so the co-op had to be put on hold for now. But all hope isn't lost yet, as I began searching for someone on PSN profiles who could help me with the co-op, while I moved on to another one of the DLC. But before moving on, I went for the 300 cards trophy. I already had a decent amount from the gifts, so to get the rest, I bought the bronze pack for 5,000 credits over and over until I got it. And there we go, these belong in the museum. Baba Yaga was the next DLC I wanted to do. This one has a story, so I started by completing that and getting all the story related trophies. It took me about an hour and a half to finish, and it was pretty fun. After completing it, I obtained the Dreamstinger bow, which changes the poison arrows to pollen arrows that confuse enemies, and the Rave Skin outfit, which makes the poison or pollen effects last longer. Both are needed for two specific trophies. One is for getting 50 kills while wearing the Rave Skin outfit, and the other is for confusing 10 enemies with the Dreamstinger bow. But before going for them, I wanted to get the collectible trophies first. So I got all 6 survival caches for the witch bottles, then I found all 21 documents for complete history of witchcraft. And finally, I completed the only challenge for Miscellaneous lanterns. Okay, now it was time to get those 2 trophies. To speed this up, I replayed the Outskirts of Katesh chapter. I got to the part where you're supposed to use a second trebuchet. However, I didn't use it because as long as you don't, the enemies infinitely respawn here. So I just stayed here until I got the trophies. First, I confused 10 enemies with the Dreamstinger bow. There we are, Bravo's Legacy. Then while I was working on the 50 kills, I got a trophy for getting a headshot from 25 meters or more. I wasn't even aiming for that one. Oh, there we go, finally, English pedigree. Let's go. That was a completely different trophy. I thought it was a 50 kills, but no, it was for the distance headshot. After that, I finally killed 50 enemies with the Rave Skin outfit. There it is, the Wraith of Siberia. Let's go. There's only one more trophy left in this DLC, and it's to complete every Wicked Veil score attack with a gold score. In score attack, you play through the levels of the campaign or DLC to get the highest score. There are 2 I need to complete for this trophy. I started with Return to Wicked Veil. Cards play more of a role here. Cards that give you a perk decrease your score at the end, and cards that hinder you increase it. You can see how much it does by looking at the card bonus. Okay, so I need 32,000 for the gold score. You get points by collecting wisps, killing enemies, shooting lanterns, and collecting items. Doing all these things quickly also increases your combo multiplier, but it gets reset if you take too long or receive damage. This level has you solving a puzzle with some platforming sprinkled in, and I struggled with this level at first because I kept losing my combo multiplier, and it took me a minute to figure out the puzzle even though I already did it a few hours ago. This resulted in my first attempt not being too great, but I did get 2 trophies. One for completing a level in score attack using 5 cards, my own worst enemy, and another for completing a level in score attack with a score multiplier of 2 or more. And I got Iron Will. After that, I looked around for tips to get a better score, and in doing that, I found the leaderboards. You see, you can go to any level and look at who completed it with the highest score, and then for 2,000 credits, you can use the same cards as them. This saves you time picking up cards each time you start a new score attack. But even with this, it still took me 3 more tries to get familiar enough with the level to maintain my combo multiplier throughout the whole thing. But once I was able to do that, I got gold, which also got me a trophy for completing a level in score attack with a gold score. There we go, we got it. Beat the high score. We smashed it. And we got glided. What did I say? It says gilded. But now it's time to do the second and final level for this trophy, called Witch's Cave. I picked my cards via the leaderboards again, but this is where I made 3 massive mistakes. First, this loadout uses the struggle card, which meant I couldn't regenerate or use bandages to heal. Second, it was paired with the 1 life to live card, which is a recipe for disaster for me, as you will soon see. And lastly, it didn't have toxicity, which is simply OP for this kind of score attack level. It's also on survivor difficulty because you get 3 times the points per kill. Now this level is a boss fight. You damage her by pulling her towards a vat and then hitting the lever to cause an explosion. However, it wasn't the boss that gave me the most problems. I can thank the regular enemies for that. I don't know if I can do this. It's that healing one that's killing me, man. Yeah, I knew what the issue was. So naturally, I should have changed my card loadout, but I didn't, which caused me to die a few more times. Eventually, I did have one attempt that went a lot better. I avoided taking too much damage and finally made some decent progress. Things were looking good. I could do it. No! Oh my, I couldn't see where they were coming from. I couldn't do it. The downside to making it that far is that it made me try again with the same cards. My accuracy showed me how much of a miss that thought process was. Yeah, let's restart. Every shot is missing. You know what? Now I'm gonna quit out. Finally! It took me long enough. So on my next attempt, I picked a loadout that had toxicity and didn't have the struggle card. And guess what? Things went a lot more smoothly. The enemies died quickly and I could heal. So now, I had no more excuses. Wow. We did it though. Smash that score. And we get Witch Trials. All the DLC trophies have been done. However, it's not the end of the score type levels, because there's a trophy for getting a gold score on every campaign level. That's 27 levels. That will be a massive grind later on. But for now, I moved on to Cold Darkness. This is a kind of story level where all the enemies are infected, basically zombies. And like Endurance, you have to select the corresponding challenges to get the trophies. I started by killing 75 enemies in a single run. Ah, we did it. An ocean and storm. Then I rescued 6 prisoners. There we go, challenge completed. To the rescue. Found all 8 documents. Okay. That's all the documents. Uncovering the truth. I also picked up 6 different weapons. And that's the final one. That gets us armed for bear. And I opened 6 upgrade pride chests. There we go. The final one. After that, I got a trophy for getting 5 headshots with regular arrows in 1 minute. Ah, I did it. Spinning leaf. Let's go. Then I killed 20 enemies with Dragonfire shotgun rounds. And we get that one. Give a man a fire. Next, I got a trophy for shutting down all the towers without making any mistakes. To complete this level, you have to shut down 3. The first one you pick has 1, the second gets 2, and the third gets 3. This seemed tricky at first, but I just kept checking the map and paid good attention to the rooms. Did it! Perfectionist. At this point, I only had 2 more trophies left in this DLC. One was for completing the level, and one was for completing it without dying. So after shutting down the towers, a new area was unlocked, where the goal is to destroy some fuel tanks. Once that's done, it's time to get to the chopper! To get both trophies, back to back. Let's get out of here. I did not jump. That was the explosion. Alright, we beat it without dying. And we get Epidemiologist? Am I saying that right? And Combat Specialist. I found out I wasn't saying that right. It's Epidemiologist. But good news, everyone. I finally found someone to play Endurance co-op with. Shout out to my new mate. Let's get these trophies. First, we killed 5 enemies that were marked by one of us.
I would appreciate some food before going in though, because
communication skills.
That was very easy.
Next, we ate the raw meat of 3 bears. A feast for 2, there we go. And the raw meat of 3 wolves, dinner for 2. After that, we escaped the forest with 5 stolen, medium, and large artifacts. Yeah. I can't just leave you here.
Hey!
There we get it, nice. We then killed a combined total of 25 enemies. Ah, we did it, yes. We also cleared 3 enemy camps at night. Oh yeah, for the night is dark as well. And we killed 10 dangerous animals.
Jaguar, leopard, cougar, one of the 2. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Just of Artemeters. Then we escaped the forest after surviving 10 days with at least 20 stolen artifacts.
Like, it's okay, but is it a worthy sequel to that game? No.
Master and Apprentice. The next trophy we got was for killing an enemy that was melee attacking one of us. Wait until your screen gets to black and white before killing the enemy to get this one. There we go. Oh, they killed me. After that, we collected an artifact while one of us was down. Oh, you got it? Nice. Teamwork. There's also a trophy for reviving a player 3 times. Now, you only start with 2 lives, but you can get an extra one when you steal a medium or large artifact.
It's gonna be okay.
Right.
There we go.
Now we just need to stay away from each other for a day.
Then we spent at least 1 day more than 60 meters apart because we were getting sick of each other. Ah, there it is. A long time. Yeah. The final Endurance co-op trophy we got was for warming up from freezing by standing next to a campfire lit by one of us. This can only be done when your warmth meter is flashing red.
Alright, there you go. Go to it.
There it is. Teamwork. Now it's time for the final DLC, Croft Manor. This one has a story level called Blood Ties. I played through and completed that first, and it took me about an hour to finish and was pretty interesting. Once that was done, I went for the collectible trophies. I found all 40 documents for complete family history and picked up all 54 relics for Home Raider. There's also an expedition called Laura's Nightmare that has the Infected from the Cold Darkness DLC. There are a few trophies to get in this, so I began by getting a trophy for killing 100 enemies. Oh, we got Fight the Fear. Then all I had left was to complete Laura's Nightmare. You do this by finding the Master Key and destroying 3 skulls. Once that's done, you face up against the Master Skull. This is a pretty straightforward boss fight.
You will perish at my hands.
What was you saying about perishing? Sweet dreams. With all the DLC done, I went to the main game and got a trophy for buying everything from the supply shack. I've read that there might not be enough gold if you purchase a crafting and enhancement tool here, so to be safe, I got them in the open world while playing through the story instead. And we get Avid Shopper. I also purchased all skills in a single category. Self-improvement junkie. Okay, now I wanted to focus on getting all the animal related trophies. So I equipped the Huntress outfit as there's a trophy for killing 50 animals while wearing it. And while I was working on that, I went for all the other ones, beginning with killing a boar with a Molotov. Bacon! Wow, they made that's the name of the trophy. Well, we're eating tonight. Next, I have to shoot a chicken out of the air with a fire arrow, which is great because I could go for some roast chicken. Oh, I got it. Rosaterre. I think that's how you say that. No, that's not how you say it. It's rotisserie. Regardless, for the next trophy, I have to kill an animal with an explosive. Was that really necessary? Yes. Yes, it was. There's also a trophy for shooting 15 deer in the heart, which is fantastic since I crave some venison. What made this easier for me was having the anatomical knowledge skill, which allows you to see the hearts of animals. You get this by completing a Catacomb of Sacred Waters challenge tomb. I also had the triple shot skill to shoot 3 arrows simultaneously, and true shot to make them automatically target the heart of animals. Now it does say head there, but that's only for human enemies. While shooting the deer, I finally got 50 animal kills. Oh, we got Huntress. Wow, we got that pretty fast. I couldn't find deer fast enough in the open world, so I loaded up the research-based chapter on Chapter Replay Elite. This lets you start with everything you unlock during the campaign. I would shoot the deer at the start, watch it do some flips, reload the checkpoint, and repeat that until I got the final animal trophy. There it is, quick and painless. Okay, the animals have been cooked. Now I decided to go for the combat trophies. The first trophy I got was for doing 25 special stealth kills with the knife. To get this, I replayed Prophet's Blessing and got to this part, stealth killed the 2 guys, reloaded the checkpoint, and repeated that until it popped. There it is, Blade of Justice. Then I used the Copper Mill chapter to get a few trophies, as this one has a lot of enemies to work with. I started by getting 25 headshots with the bolt action rifle. Finally, Dead Ringer. After that, I used melee to send 5 enemies off a ledge. Renegade. Now I have to melee an enemy with a bow. Oh, I destroyed him with that bottle. Oh my days. Bar brawl. Wouldn't call it a bar or brawl, but okay. And for the final trophy on Copper Mill, I need to kill 6 enemies with the revolver without reloading. 1, 2, 3. Well, I only got 2 more shots now. 1 more shot. And that's number 6. Laying down the law. Listen, I have the best hands in the West. There's also a trophy for killing 3 enemies with 1 shotgun blast. To find 3 enemies, I replayed the Soviet installation chapter. I made sure to pick adventurous difficulty and also equip cars to strengthen the shotgun. Then I got to this part and waited for the enemies to group up. But getting this was easier said than done.
She's there. Open fire.
What? How'd I shoot the guy behind? What? I always miss one. How am I can't get all 3. There we go. We did it. Triple threat. The next combat trophy required me to kill 5 enemies within 10 seconds using any rifle. So I used the Acropolis chapter because there's a group of enemies at the beginning that you can line up to get this. Is that 5? There we go. Trusty old friend. A trusty old friend. Served me well. At this point, I wanted to get a couple of miscellaneous trophies out of the way. One is for shooting a bottle out of the air. Oh, first try. First try. Trick shot. Yeah. You see? These hands, best in the West. And one is for finding the best seat in the house. Let's get some quiet time. Just want to relax for a bit. Quiet time. Alright, now I wanted to go for the score attack trophy. And as I mentioned before, there are 27 levels that I have to get a gold score on. 18 of them are from the story, and 9 of them are challenge tombs. This is by far the most grindy trophy. I started with the Prophet's Tomb. I picked my card loadout via the leaderboards. And don't worry, this level is mostly platforming, so the struggle card won't be a problem. I have to get 165,000 for the gold score. My first attempt was going well until I got to this part. I was too slow in figuring out what to do, so I lost my combo multiplier. Oh no. Let me get there quickly. No! Supposed to go this way. Somehow, I didn't see the glowing wall next to me. And I had just recently been to Specsavers too. This happened a few more times, but maybe I can still get gold. What? Only got a silver. Comparing this guy's stats to mine, he had a 99 combo multiplier compared to my low 41, found more items, and got more score pickups than me. Yeah, I've got some work to do. On my second attempt, I changed my card loadout because I wanted a higher card bonus to get my score as high as possible. This was a big mistake. Why? The grip card. This makes you hold square to hang from ledges. Only use this if you are skilled like that. I was not. Yeah, I'm not doing that one. That one's, nah, it's too much. I can't do it. I can't do that one. Hell no. I quickly learned my lesson. So on my third attempt, I reverted to the first card loader I used. And now that I knew what to do, I got up to 70 on a combo multiplier. This gave me a much better chance of getting a higher score. I got it, yes! After that, I made my way through each level, and it usually took me 1 or 2 tries to get familiar with them before I got the gold score. The exception to this was the challenge tombs because they have much lower gold score requirements, so I usually got it on my first try. While getting gold on each level, I got a trophy for replaying 5 different levels without dying. I don't think that was 5, I don't think that's enough. I got untouchable though. Oh, and I got a gold star. Nice. So I replayed 5 levels without dying. Sweet. Eventually, after 7 long hours of trying to get gold in each level, I only had 1 more left. But before starting it, I wanted to get 2 other trophies out of the way. The first was for beating 15 combat encounters after completing the game. I would fast travel to an area where enemies usually spawn and kill everyone, then go to another spot to do the same thing, until I got this one. Nice, that counts as 1. Oh yes, I got it! Serbian Ranger! Let's go. The second was for completing 3 replay challenges in 1 score attack. This can't be done using the leaderboards, so I picked the Voice of God challenge tomb and chose some easy challenges, like Pickup Collector for collecting 10 pickups, Chain Reaction for achieving a combo 20, and Deathless for beating it without dying. Well, Deathless should have been easy. There is no way that this happened to me. Just call this Fall of the Tomb Raider. Nevertheless, I restarted the level, finished it without dying this time, and got the trophy. Alright, that's all you got. Just 1 more trophy left to the platinum. Yes, all I have to do is beat this last score attack level. This one is 85,000 for the gold score. Since it's combat heavy, it shouldn't be too hard to get. Well, assuming I don't die. This one starts with you having to kill some enemies, then eventually you get to a helicopter boss fight. You damage it by signaling for a trebuchet to launch a fireball, which you must shoot when it's above the helicopter. Now I defeated this helicopter once during the campaign already with no issues, so I thought it would be the same here. It wasn't. Oh my days. Oh, I died! Fortunately, my second attempt was better than my first. As I got back to the helicopter, I managed to avoid taking too much damage to get my revenge. It's over. There we go, we did it. Shortly after that, I got to the final boss. You can only use stealth here, so you have to sneak up behind him to attack him. Once I defeat him, the trophy, the platinum, and the 100% will be mine. So I channeled my inner Batman and got to work.
Stronger than your father ever was. He never would have made it this far.
I got the second hit in. Oh my days, I pressed it too early. I can't believe it. The worst part about dying here is I would have the level finished if I hadn't messed up that quick time event, meaning I failed virtually at the end. So in other words, I choked. I then died to the helicopter again on my third attempt and fourth. It felt like it could shoot me from every angle now. Things were looking a bit rough, but if there's one thing to know about me, it's that I always find a way. So I made a trip to the barbers, and that was all I needed for my fifth attempt, because I took care of the helicopter and got back to the final boss. This time, I knew what to expect. There we go. Let's finish this. There we go. Gold star. Done. Golden child and platinum. There we go. We finally done it. All 125 trophies. That was a grind, but I had fun with this. And for another game I got the platinum for, check out this video. It gave me a nice challenge.